Hi, Dr. P here with a brief note about continuous improvement in playtesting. I encounter game designers occasionally who give version numbers to their designs, and this puzzles me because it implies that they update the design at discrete times after several plays. But for me, the process is and should be continuous. Every time the game is played, you should modify the rules and other components as necessary. When it's no longer necessary, you're getting close to done. Now, of course, when you play test, you can run into outliers, and the key here is don't be drastic. Do things incrementally. If you know something isn't right or isn't in the rules, why keep playing that way until the next version? A byword of modern management is continuous improvement. And continuous improvement is, obviously, a process that continues indefinitely in the case of business. In playtesting, you don't generally have the opportunity, certainly in tabletop games, of using quantitative testing. In other words, of applying statistical methods to your testing. You can't get enough repetitions to test a hypothesis quantitatively. You've got to use qualitative testing, which doesn't require large numbers of repetitions. And then, each time you play test, it's possible that you have changes that you can make. And especially there are changes to rules, because even if you're not actually changing the game, you'll probably find that your rules leave things out or are not clear when you look something up while the game is being played. And that needs to be fixed immediately. Now, the drawback of continuous improvement is you might have to print the rules more often. You might have to print the cheat sheets more often. Yes, I do save multiple versions of the files. I used to save them by number, although those weren't version numbers. I now save them by date. And usually, when I save a new version, it's after a long interval of no testing, because I tend to test and then let the game lie fallow, and then test some more and lie fallow, and so on. Of course, you should always write things down. You don't want to risk forgetting something. Perhaps if you have just one game that you're working on, you think, I'll never forget. Well, you know yourself better than anybody else. But I have a great many games that are in the process of being tested. And so I have to write things down. I don't want to try to remember everything. In the end, with a game, if it's not on paper, it doesn't count. Because when the game is actually sold, people have to read what you've written. They can't talk to you or watch how you play, although we're getting to where we can try to do that with YouTube. They have to rely on what's written down. In the end, of course, different people have different styles of doing things. I'm trying to explain to you what I think is most efficient. Thanks for listening.